Hey, welcome back. This is Table of Geequals. This is episode 4. I am your host, PigMonkey, and this is your host,
Alex.
And with us tonight, we have...
Megan McKay.
And...
Brian Babineau.
So, Megan, just introduce yourself so that people know who you are.
Well, hello. My name is Meg, and I am a comedy person. I host a show on Monday at Gus's called Mega Comedy Mondays. It's free to get in. Come down and hang out at 8 p.m.
Are we singing everything?
I like
I
that.
always
That's
sing
a
when I'm
good
nervous.
jingle.
That it was a good
I
jingle.
always
It's a
sing
good
when I'm
jingle.
nervous.
I think we should, now we've got it recorded, I'm going to put, like, music
Oh,
to
great.
the back of that, and we'll just loop it.
Yeah.
And I'll send it to you. You can use it as your answering machine.
I would really like that. Actually, I think my answering machine message is pretty baller right now.
What's your answering machine message?
You have reached Megan McKay, professional lady! Mr. Movie Phone.
Nice.
Except I'm a professional lady, just in case I...
Mine says, hey, you've reached PigMonkey. You know what to do, and you know when to do it.
I feel like I've missed a boat here.
Yeah. It's what's on your cell phone, dude. Is it just, hi, this is Alex?
Is it one of those
I
kudos
think
ones
I
with the
think
British
it-
girl?
I
Like,
think it
hey there.
starts with like, I don't know. I don't call myself. Somebody call me and tell me what it says. I'm pretty sure it just says Alex Hall.
It's not available. At the tone,
Yeah,
please record
probably.
your message.
Mine has my 5-year-old
pleasant.
shouting.
Yeah.
Name. It's just like, you've reached Brian!
Oh.
Leave a message.
So, Megan, what do you, apart from the show, you have something coming up?
Yeah, I'm in a show that's at the University Club called Taboo. We're doing scenes from banned books and banned theater. I'm going to be uncomfortably sexual. Talking. I'm supposed to be playing like a lawyer lady that is like super straight, but like totally into ladies. So it's not that much of a departure. I'm really into law, guys. Really into law.
Dream of every preteen out there, preteen male.
Yeah.
Super hot, super straight lady who's also into the women.
You know, I don't think that I'm actually a woman. Last time I checked, my dick was so hot, it's stolen.
Why is it we always take like a really uncomfortable turn within the first like 5 minutes?
I can't.
That way there's more to pull back from and everybody feels more comfortable.
So
we
we
kind of
We
root
just
out,
pull out.
We
That's
walked
sort
the
of-
room
we root
already.
Out, we root out the people who can't take us at our worst.
It's like the content warning song, only
That's
it's
perfect.
conversational.
Yeah, we just
do
bring
the cock
this
tent
show
warning.
to
It's the
the
cock
depths
tent.
of-
It's essentially how I live my life, though, right? I always aim for mediocrity, and then when I do better, I'm pleasantly surprised all the time.
Aim
That was
low,
my-
Ryan
that
That
Babineau.
was my whole strategy for getting through high school.
Yeah, that's been my
was
life
to
strategy.
Not
really.
sort of not set the bar too high, like 65, 70%, you know? Go for a good average of 65 to 70%, and then you get 1 or 2 A's. Go for those 1 or 2 A's, and you're outstanding. Now, if you went for straight A's, a B is punishment.
Yeah.
When you go for straight C's, a B gets you pizza.
Yeah, I never understood. Was anybody here one of those kids that were like they got money for their grades? Like if you got A's, you got like $40.
No.
No, not
No,
at all.
you knew those
No.
people though. They were in your class, right?
Yeah.
No, I went to school in
I had-
Spryfield. We didn't.
Oh, okay.
You got money for selling drugs.
Oh, okay.
That's what you got
From
money
your parents.
for. Well, from whoever you
Like,
could get the
"Come on,
drugs from.
Junior, you got
Yeah.
the good hookup at your
Exactly.
school."
Exactly. It's just
Yeah.
like hey son, come here. Here's a dime bag. See what you can
Spryfield's
do
a
with
special
that.
place.
Right? It's a different zone. I went to
Well,
school
you know,
hard
it's
knocks.
always
right?
safe to have the minors sell the drugs.
Well, yeah. I mean, their records are expunged at 18.
And by the time you're 15 now, you've watched enough cop shows that you know that the cops can't do anything to you, so you don't rat out your parents for giving you the drugs.
Yeah.
You just sit in the store and you're like, what are you going to do, cops, huh? What are you going to do? Nothing. Gangster like that.
This is really depressing now.
G-Unit.
So, Brian, tell us about yourself.
Other
Yeah, I
than
mean,
the
other
drugs
than
that you sell.
you giving
I-
drugs to your 5-year-old.
I'm just going to put
and
this out
sending him
there
to-
that I've never sold drugs, all right? Let's just get that one clear now.
No, that's what your 5-year-old does.
That's, well, he's a pretty easy mule.
You're gonna get visited by social.
Yeah.
They're totally monitoring it.
yeah, I'm
Well,
sure.
CSIS
podcast.
is already monitoring the show because of me.
Yeah.
Nice.
And now the Canadian drug enforcement arm is going to be monitoring your child's diapers because
when was the last time they did anything good?
Fair enough.
The diapers?
They let mountains of weed be grown in Canada.
I remember a story like a few years ago where they found like a shit ton of hash coming off the boats because someone tipped over like a can of dog food, and when it broke open, it was just hashish in all of them. It was like, a whole one of those train trailers full of just hash that they just let come across the border, and the only reason they found it was because someone tipped one over and it broke. They're like, holy shit, this whole thing's filled with hash. How
Talk about
fortuitous. Like,
tip off.
Let's.
This guy.
Oh man, I see what you
I'll
did
show
there.
myself. I'll show myself out.
Yeah.
See you.
Get out of here.
I'm sorry.
All right.
anyway, back to me.
Yeah.
All
back
right,
to
yeah,
you.
Yeah. I don't have my own show. I'm not lucky enough, like some people, to have my own show yet.
Yet.
Someday. Striving for that Tuesday night audience.
Yeah.
You got
Well,
Monday.
you're gonna have
you
to
should
fight
do
me
Tuesday
for it.
night.
You
man.
guys
My-
got one. I'll just do every other week. Right?
Okay.
You guys got the 1 week. I'll do the other 3. Anyway, I am performing at not Geeks vs. Nerd.
at
KO the
Knock
Nerd.
Out the Nerd. Yeah.
Knock Out the Nerd on May 14th. That's gonna be fun times.
That's
And,
at Michael's Bar at
Michael's
8
Bar,
o'clock. The
yeah.
cover is $5.
it's a great venue.
And it's
Love
a great venue. And the $5, I want to point out that the $5 that you pay to get in, it goes back to the performers on stage. Like, the more people who show up, the more our performers get paid, and they work hard to do this. Like, it's. I'm really happy to just have the show and have people on and do the show for people. But it would be really nice to, just give $20 to everybody who works so hard on our show.
I got paid $10 for a show over at Jacob's Lounge once, and I called my wife in excitement that I had a $10 bill in my pocket from doing like a comedy stint. I get paid more than that in a half hour at my work, but I was very, very pumped. I was like, "Oh my god, it's a $10 bill I just got paid!" Like,
I got paid
it's a really good
$10
thing when
for doing something I like.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
This is you could do this.
this makes money.
I thought my life was supposed to be fucking miserable.
As having performed at both the GVN and the Knockout the Nerd, like you do them because you enjoy just having that fun conversation. But the fact that the GVN folks like you, PigMonkey, have organized Knockout the Nerd for the performers, I think is just awesome. And
I gotta say, I was really floored by the level of because I did it once, I think about 2 or 3 months ago or something like that.
I remember, yeah.
And I sort of walked in arrogantly thinking that I would allow my comedy to just carry me through. And then I was like, these people are actually prepared and ready and willing to throw
Well,
down.
not super prepared because they
No,
don't
it's
know
all
what the
last
topic
minute.
is. They don't know what the topic is.
No,
until
but
that 10-minute
very
break.
prepared to argue on that point. It's,
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was just taken aback by it.
Yeah,
A
it's and you're on stage this time around. So
I am.
Jay,
Jay said, you could come up and do one. I was like, no, I'm not gonna. The only time I'm going to grab a mic at those places now is just to do comedy. I'm not going to embarrass myself like I did the last time.
hey man, it's hard to do.
It's
so
difficult.
don't. That's the whole point. Is one of the things that I wanted to do when I did Knock Out the Nerd, when we started to do. I don't want to say I did it because there are so many people who are involved with it. But one of the reasons of making Knock Out the Nerd was I wanted people to, our guys, to get more practice on stage with arguing, and they really, really do. It really forces your game up a level because you don't know what you're going to be arguing about until 10 minutes before you're arguing it, and you have that much time to come up with the craziest, most insane arguments. And the topics, the candidates, they never match up properly.
there was a great one that I was in, Sharks versus
that was me.
3-story. Yeah, that's
Venus
right.
flytrap, the 200-foot Venus flytrap.
That was interesting.
Sharks versus a 200-foot Venus.
Who would win in a fight? I mean, Venus flytraps can't even fight. I was taken aback that I lost. I was floored.
Yeah. Well, it's okay.
I'm all right with it though.
I want to try it.
I've
I
gotten
want to
past
try
it.
it.
I've gotten past it now.
It's good. It's a good time.
Well,
Well,
have
you
the seat
should
of my
come
pants.
out. Come out Tuesday.
I will.
Okay, so Week in Geek. Don't care. Well, okay, first of all, Netflix lost 794 titles on May 1st.
R.I.P.
So what?
Well, a lot of people shit on Netflix because, we don't have as good a content as they do in the States. Well, it sucks. It just, chalk it back up to our limited buying power as a nation.
Sure.
I don't know. I tend not to crap on Netflix because even for the $8 a month, you're getting a lot of content.
I don't get Netflix.
No, I do Netflix right now. I'm actually, right now I'm so busy and I'm actually not watching it a whole lot. I'm actually going to talk to the wife about getting rid of it.
We got rid of our cable when we got Netflix.
Well, we don't have cable.
Yeah. I only have cable for the sports package, but all the other channels are disconnected because Netflix is one of those demons that forces you to watch bad shows.
But there's some really good gems in there.
There's some good documentaries.
I want to watch
really
Spaced.
You haven't seen Spaced?
It's so
I've seen
good.
episodes, but I want to watch the series before I get rid of it.
Dude, nah. I'll bring over Spaced. Spaced is something you have to watch with people to really... you can watch it alone, but it's more fun to watch it with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Well, I just finished Fringe.
That sort of impressed me a little. I just watched it on Netflix the other day. Well, the first 3 seasons or whatever are on there.
Well, they have 4 seasons.
Yeah.
And
I think 3 are on Netflix, aren't they?
No, they're all 4, but they have 5 seasons total.
I made it
it's
to
that
season 3.
monster of the week type format. But
yeah.
Like anything good, they have that overarching storyline as well.
I made it to season 3. They put Peter in the machine.
Don't your spoiler alert.
That's it. They put Peter in the machine, I don't care. That was what I was going to say.
It was just good to see Pacey in something else, see him step out of the Dawson's Creek and throw himself into a real serious role.
True.
Pace.
Pacey, man.
Keeping the pace.
I don't want to wait for our lives.
That was not necessary.
Oh, come on.
Don't shoot a man down.
Yeah, I don't know.
My show. It wasn't necessary.
Netflix has started making its own.
Have you watched
House of Cards? Was awesome.
No.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Is it?
Have you seen the British one?
I haven't. I've thought about it, but
it's very, very good.
Kevin Spacey though carries anything he's in. Really, I'll just watch him
Kevin
talk.
Spacey as Kevin Spacey, the dog murderer.
He plays the same character in every role. He doesn't. But it's awesome every time. He's always just Kevin Spacey.
There's a really good line in that series where he's talking about going down south, where he's like, the barbecue sauce gets thicker, so does my accent. I'm like, fuck you, Kevin Spacey, I love you.
Yeah.
You're gross. You're the best.
So, that might be the way that Netflix is going. It's just making
Arrested Development.
Yeah.
All 15 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't get rid of it until Arrested.
Okay.
That's the
The thing is, who was it? Was it you who was saying that it's missing Fox and the concentrated hate that comes along with Fox?
No, it's just anything that Fox gets rid of that's good, Netflix should just scoop up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if there's one thing that you can peg a good show on is if Fox gets rid of it.
Hey, speaking of stuff that's made on the internet, you said you would give Zombieland the series a try.
I didn't have time. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I will give it a try, and I will report
You gotta watch
back.
that shit, and then we.
How do I get it?
It.
What is it on?
It's
Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. You go to if you just Google Zombieland the series. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
okay.
Completely. I wouldn't send you to it if it cost you a cent.
Okay.
Because that movie is absolutely packed with product placement from beginning to end.
The movie or the show?
Or the show is got, I think it was, I was watching it, so there's a lot of that. There's a zombie being, spoiler alert, they do a lot of cutaway scenes, zombie kill of the week. And
so Family Guy-esque references?
Cutaway gag. Little cutaways are.
That was worse than the time that zombie ate that.
No.
Where
you know how they did it in the movie, zombie kill of the week.
Yeah.
Close, but zombie kill of the week was done by an old lady who dropped a piano on a zombie. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I get the sense that they're going to do that every show if they have another show. But
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it was
text
worth
me and remind
seeing.
me.
Yeah.
I don't know. My heart isn't in it.
Zombies are wretched anyway. They just hate this zombie fad.
Fuck you.
It's terrible.
That's my bread and butter.
I'm
terrible.
legitimately terrified.
You should be.
I am thankful for zombies in that they got rid of the vampires.
Sexy vampires that make no sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sparkle pyres.
No, you know what the
emo
problem
wolves.
with zombies is? The problem with zombies
It's
is that too
overexposure
much
right now.
shit is
Yeah.
being made.
Yeah.
I have friends who they, watch every shitty zombie movie, and they get mad at me because, I've done zombie survival seminars, and they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, you say you're like an expert on zombies, but you haven't watched this movie," and it's like, no, because that movie looked like shit, and I bet you it is shit.
There was one of the best zombie films I've ever seen was a Canadian-made one. About a guy who had a radio show.
Oh, that was Pontypool.
Pontypool. I can never remember what it's called because it doesn't stick in your head. But it's a great movie.
It was it made zombies based on a meme or a vocal. It was an idea that got into your head and turned you into a zombie. So it was a vocally transmitted
What was
disease.
the one with the zombie pet, Fido?
Fido. Yeah.
That
Yes.
was the only good zombie movie ever made.
Billy Connolly.
That
Yeah,
movie
Billy
was
Connolly's
great
great.
as far as just a comedy film,
Great
but
film.
It was
the
not a good
survivalist
zombie
in me
movie.
was just like, "You fools! What are you doing? Stop it!" Like,
I
just
prefer
More of
like
a comedy film.
if you're gonna do like a survival film, it's got you got ones like The Road, right, where it's like
I haven't
Worse.
read the book. I
Way
watched
worse.
the movie, and
I haven't read the book. I've actually listened to the book on tape.
the book is like the book is
Is
like
it read by
10
Cormac
times.
McCarthy, who's like this 90-year-old
No,
man
but
from the West?
the voice actor. Oh my god! Usually I cringe whenever like a voice actor does a male voice actor does a kid or a woman part.
Yeah.
The 2 times I haven't done that are The Stand.
who was that? Who read The Stand?
I can't remember. And the guy who read The Road, because my god, I had to pull over. I was crying like a baby.
It was a way
I was
more
just-
sad, like, and terrifying experience when we read it than compared to like the movie.
That man.
Things are so important.
Nothing good happens throughout that whole movie. Like, there's never a point where you're like, oh, thank God
No,
that
just
happened.
like
It's
No
just-
Country for Old Men.
Yeah,
Everything
Yeah.
gets more miserable,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you die in the end.
Yeah.
That was
Moving
pleasant.
on.
Speaking of death, Marvel gained more film rights. They got Ghost Rider and Blade back. So, that they joined Punisher and Daredevil.
Yeah, I
Punisher Warzone was great. I'm sorry.
Oh,
it was.
stop it.
I loved it.
What is your problem?
It had a terrible
Do you just like everything good?
No. Not everything good.
Okay.
The script was terrible. It was...
Yeah, but have you read a comic, a Punisher comic?
It's
A
just
few.
Pretty
yeah.
terrible.
It's the scripts are awful.
Yeah.
But when I sit down and watch a movie, I don't want it to be just like what I can read in the comic. Plus, a comic has like X years of like to fall back on, so stories can be built. Whereas in a movie, I want it to just you have 2 hours. Just bring it out to me. Give me the story.
I think that Warzone
point.
did that.
Yeah.
I found the first
'Cause
one
it
with Tom
didn't
Jane
have
had
to-
a better story.
Whoa!
And then the second one
Whoa!
had
Whoa!
better action.
No!
All I can think of is that
Get
piercing
the fuck
scene.
out.
Thomas
Get out.
Jane. Thomas
didn't say it was
Jane
good.
is the better Punisher.
He's a better Punisher.
Thomas Jane is
Yeah.
the Punisher.
Yeah.
But
The
as far
roles-
as
Okay,
John
Travolta
as a
sucked.
villain.
Travolta
We
sucked.
We talked about this
Yes,
already.
yes.
Travolta
I think
always-
last week. Travolta as the villain and not having him as a Scientologist, first of all, is just wrong. Okay? But having him as a villain, period, like,
Yeah,
no.
Travolta does suck. I'll give you, but I mean,
And that
Tom
little
Jane did a really good
guitarist,
role.
like the
Yeah.
creepy guy
I
with
found
the guitar. in the
overall
diner,
you
like-
felt
Piercings.
more about the Punisher in that movie, and you related better to him than in the other one where he was just. It was like the '80s one where he just shows up, shoots a bunch of people up.
That's
Do
the
you have a
Punisher.
problem? Do you have a problem with Dolph Lundgren?
Well,
He was a great He-Man.
No.
But that is the Punisher.
great everything.
You
Yeah.
see, the thing is, everybody's going to go back to the source material and say that is the concept for the character. And I don't know if you've seen any source material Punisher comic books, but there's very little speech, and what the Punisher does is show up and kill people.
The most recent Punisher.
the Punisher
series,
Max series is the one
I
that I
loved
read the
the
most.
Punisher
right?
Max,
Yeah,
but he
Punisher
doesn't
Max
do.
was good, but
he
the
didn't
most
do a lot of the
recent-
talking.
no, but there was a lot of story in it. Like they did a lot of backstory. Other characters had involvement. Whereas I found in Warzone, the action was right where it should have been. Like you need, if you're gonna make a Punisher movie, it has to be R-rated. It has to be ultra violent. Just people being destroyed.
Yeah, that's why Blade was awesome. Because
Blade
it was a
awesome.
Marvel Knights character.
Yeah.
Well, before Marvel Knights existed, but he was
Yeah.
part of like the Midnight Suns and all that crap. You know, it was like that's how those movies need to be made.
That
they need a Moon Knight movie.
It's funny with Ghost Rider,
All of
Blade, and Daredevil and Punisher back. You actually have like a Marvel Knights.
It'll never happen.
You might not see a
movie.
Marvel Knights movie, like a live action movie, but I can definitely see a Marvel Knights animated release to DVD.
Well, I mean,
or Blu-ray now.
What I'd like to see
dates me
digital download.
Those characters that Marvel is getting back appear in Shield.
That'd be great.
I mean, why not? You're cringing. Why are you cringing?
Blade. That was the first
Blade.
thing that I was. Blade would have nothing to do with.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to appear in it. But other characters that they've,
I could totally dig seeing Punisher.
The beauty of
Daredevil,
having like an
Punisher.
I would
Moon
love
Knight,
to see.
Wasn't taken at all.
Punisher should just start appearing in all of the Marvel films.
Yeah.
Like
although
in the background.
Yeah, just
showing up.
He'll be the Hawkeye replacement or the Thor replacement or something.
Yeah, it'd be like the same argument that I have for Spider-Man films.
Love that.
Where I hate it when Spider-Man films have like a focal villain, because Spider-Man just beats up a bunch of B-list villains over and over again. Like in every comic, he fights like 2 or 3 people and he just beats them and then moves on. And I hate Punisher should be one of those guys who just appears for 15 minutes. They meet him, they're like, "Oh, there's that Punisher guy. He's crazy."
I'm gonna take exception to the Spider-Man comment, and I'm not trying to argue with you your entire time on the show. It seems that way, and I'm enjoying it.
He's totally doing it.
It's totally on
tell,
purpose.
I know. It's okay.
Spider-Man, he does beat up a lot of B-listers, but that's the joke. But he always has story arcs where it's that one villain.
I said it wrong. Like if you're going to introduce like Venom or something like that.
Let's not talk about Spider-Man 3.
No, well, I'm just saying it as outside of that context. Suppose you did it again with Venom.
They do it again.
Sandman should have been like the 15-minute villain, and Venom would be the focal point. Like those guys, like the Lizard, I found was awesome to watch it. All that stuff.
I never really liked the Lizard
but I never liked him as a main villain, right? Like he's a guy that at the beginning of the movie he should bust him trying to do something, tie him up, tie him to the lamppost like he always does, and then leave him for the cops and then move on.
The Lizard is different as a villain because Spider-Man doesn't want to hurt him. It's his friend.
Well, the connection there between them, yeah. Spider-Man becomes friends with like all of his villains, though. Doesn't? Like, almost all of them. Sandman, Doc Ock. I guess he's not friends.
He wasn't friends with Sandman.
No, but he forgave him.
He forgave him.
Sure.
Which I actually did. That was one part of the movie that I did.
Even in some of the comics, they weren't always against each other.
Well, Sandman has had a checkered past. He worked with Silver Sable, and you're chuckling at me, Derek.
No,
I'm sorry. Spider-Man is my brother, man. He's like...
He's had a checkered past.
Explain
his history.
I could do several... 5-hour shows just talking about Spider-Man and not stop. Like the Patton Oswalt filibuster on Parks and Recreation, I would just talk.
One of these days, I'm going to take you up on that. I'm going to give you 10 minutes here, and I want to hear you talk for 10 minutes on
about Spider-Man.
Yeah,
okay.
not today.
Okay, I could do it about
one day
many
when we
subjects.
have
Spider-Man, Deep Space Nine, subtopic the Dominion War.
How about Deep Space Nine, subtopic Garrick?
Oh, I could talk about Garrick for ages.
Garrick for days.
Funny story, when I was in Katimavik, I was like the nerd of the house. And in our final...
You don't say.
No, I know. Surprising, right? In our final placement, we were there for about 3 weeks, and then the house, the leader of the house, she comes down and she's like, "Listen, Alex, I have a favor to ask." I'm like, "Okay." And she says, "Well, I'm seeing this guy, and he's a really big Star Wars nerd, and I know nothing about it."
Oh, were you Cicero?
Could you...
Cole's notes?
Is it Cicero?
No, I wasn't interested in her at all.
No. Isn't that the character who, in literature, who wrote all these love lines to read to?
Oh, no, I didn't do anything like that. No, it was just she just wanted to know about Star Trek so she would understand a little bit. And after 3 hours, she just kind of said, "Okay, I'm going to reevaluate my decision with this man. I was just, okay.
My question is, where's
It's
my
not
Archie
Cicero.
versus...
It's not Cicero.
Cyrano.
Cicero was a Cyrano.
Cyrano
de Bergerac.
Bergerac,
Cicero
sorry.
was a Roman
Yeah.
lawyer.
Right.
And
Come on.
it's one of the-
Sorry.
Come on, Meg.
Sorry.
Come on.
I'm sorry, I'm an ultra
It took
geek.
me
I
a
just
really... Where's my Archie versus Punisher movie? Where does that happen?
Channing Tatum has to play Archie.
And
And
Punisher.
they do it for real.
Like,
same
yeah,
time.
it's
Like
like
it's not a movie per se. It's a snuff film.
it's a documentary essentially of killing Channing
It
Tatum.
takes place at prom.
Can we call it Magic Mike 2?
Magic Mike 2, Archie versus Punisher.
Why not?
Like it.
Just on the whole Marvel getting their shit together
Yeah.
and getting rights back, it's awesome. But they can't get their shit together and hold on to their actors for like the Avengers 2 cast. Apparently,
Oh, they can.
they can.
They have
but
more money than God.
they're pissing everybody off. First of all, Robert Downey Jr. It looks like he's going to get more money for Iron Man 3 than he did for Avengers. Recap: He made $50 million on
Again,
Avengers.
no need for $50 million, but hide that.
Well, I'm sure he has like dozens of illegitimate children that he has to pay off too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
don't
get sued
forget,
for saying
don't
that.
forget his coke habit. That's
Hey.
Valtrex
Former-
is
He's
expensive.
clean.
Former
He's
coke
clean.
habit, buddy.
He's
Former
still paying
coke
off the
habit.
debts from that.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the guy.
Hey, I love him. He's done one of my favorite movies of all time. But
What's that?
Alan
Kiss
Beale.
Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh, that was a good film. No, but
Alan Beale, the
like
movie?
Scarlett Johansson, I guess, and Hemsworth. They're kind of pissed off with Marvel because they're not getting paid as much as they want.
To be honest, they could probably replace Scarlett Johansson and just find another set of big boobs and
Well, I don't
from there.
particularly care for her
Me neither.
personally,
Yeah.
but
I don't see a reason why the Black Widow even has to be in there. She wasn't an original member of the Avengers.
well, I think that they're just,
They needed
they're
a set
looking-
of tits.
Well, that and they're looking for a character that they can, make a strong female presence, not have it overshadow the big, like the core members of the group.
Yeah.
If you have throw Miss Marvel in there, and I mean, yeah, she's a very strong female character, and that's awesome. But
She can take the Hulk.
yeah, she could like throw him into the sun.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get letters.
there would also
saying,
be
No, what are you talking about? Hulk could totally kick Miss Marvel's ass.
Not when I'm writing, fucker. Wah, wah, wah.
there would also be like 40 minutes of intro to show everyone who Miss Marvel is, because
True.
the casual watcher would just be like, "Who is this chick?"
Yeah,
Like,
with Scarlett or with Scarlett Johansson with Black Widow, it's just like, yep, she's
A
hot
spy.
and a spy.
yeah. Here's the tight black suit. Go to town.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hot
Well,
spy,
speaking of
damaged pass. Hot spy with the damaged pass.
What a twist!
Yeah.
speaking of Scarlet, Avengers 2 is supposed to have the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in it.
Which
now,
surprises the fuck out of me.
well, I mean, what they're saying in the article is that they're currently in the script, and that doesn't mean shit to me.
No, it doesn't.
This is what, like draft 2?
I think they still have the
yeah,
copy that they
it's-
wrote in crayon. You
Yeah.
know, it's not.
I personally want Hercules in the next Avengers movie,
That'd be awesome. But
and Giant Man.
Giant.
well, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, Giant Man.
Ant-Man
Ant-Man
is
is coming.
getting his own movie.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was trying to explain. I was sitting there and I was trying to explain Ant-Man, and I was just like, "Yeah, Ant-Man. Who's Ant-Man? He's a guy who can shrink himself down to ant size."
and control it.
And this is a character who deserves his own movie. Yeah, he can shrink himself down, and he still has like proportionate, like he still has the strength of a full grown human, but he's really tiny. Oh, and he can talk to ants. Yeah, completely checked out.
Yep.
It's going to be an awesome movie because Edgar Wright wants to do it, but
Wow.
yeah, I know, right?
What are they doing with the Wasp?
She'll probably make an appearance in it. And it would be
At the
really
end.
Because I mean, he's
Like-
going to have to
Well,
hit her, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Well, he's gonna have to beat her. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
that. Okay, for those who don't know, that's a joke going back to when Hank Pym assaulted his wife, Janet. I'm
over
not saying
and over again.
no. He hit her once. And
Nice
and apparently the artist and the writer have come out saying like we didn't actually mean it to be this like huge thing. It was supposed to be an accidental slap, I guess, and now everybody's like Hank Pym, the wife beater. So,
well, in the Ultimates, he did beat the crap out of him.
well, yeah, in the Ultimate Universe, but the Ultimate Universe is like Bendis's bastard child that he locked in the dungeon basement and
Dropped a
throws
bunch of
scraps.
acid in.
This is what happens when Spider-Man dies for real. Like, thanks, Bendis. You destroyed my heart. Moving on.
You are a non-believer in the ultimate new Spider-Man.
Okay, the Ultimate Universe in general, just kind of like at first I was kind of like, ooh, cool, new, interesting, hip, awesome, Ultimate. But
What does that even mean?
it apparently like. Okay, so the Ultimate Universe has been around since like 2001, I think.
Yeah, something like that. It started with the Ultimates.
Yeah, well, Ultimate Spider-Man.
I think
actually,
Ultimate Spider-Man
was the
Spider-Man,
first.
and then it was Ultimates.
Yeah.
Ultimate Spider-Man was the longest running of them.
Well, and it started.
The
Ultimate Universe. I'm pretty sure. So like, it was supposed to like get people who hadn't been
like a
interested
mature
in reading Spider-Man. He was young. He was like in high school, but it was like supposed to be current and like everything. Anyway,
Texting and
sexting,
and
craziness,
crazy
So,
and porn hunting.
Gel pens.
yeah, they had like a whole few issues on just Peter Parker trying to find like
Porn?
No, they didn't. I was trying to find a joke
He's
somewhere, and I
a
couldn't.
uber nerd, man.
He's typing, and then all of a sudden his wrist
all
goes
the
like...
all the he's typing
premature web shot. Sorry, babe.
So like it was a really like it was
Get
really
you
kind
towel.
of fresh and unique and awesome, but
I'd love to see like
so it's been around for like 13, 14 years now. But in universe, it's only been around for like 3 years, maybe 4.
Yeah.
And in those 4 years, they've gone through a Spider-Man. The world has almost ended.
Magneto
so
killed
many
like
times.
half the
Yeah,
population.
Magneto killed like Daredevil. Spoiler alert: Magneto killed Wolverine, Professor X, Cyclops. Like most of the X-Men, he killed Daredevil.
Human Torch.
There was a scene where like Janet, the Wasp, died in the Ultimate Universe, and the Blob is literally eating her corpse.
Yeah.
At which point, Giant Man grows to humongous size, picks up the Blob, and bites his head off.
And then walks into the ocean covered in suicide bombers.
Yeah,
And blows
like
himself up.
in Multiple Man, and yeah, blows himself up in the middle of.
I'm a huge Ultimates
harbor.
fan. I've read.
Yeah, and
Love
it's
it.
fun and it's cool, except like every couple of like days, it feels like in the Ultimate Universe, the world almost ends. So it's just a little too.
everybody in the Ultimate universe for the first couple of years of their lives lives in terror, and then after like 10. After the age of 10, everybody is so used to the world almost ending every 2 weeks that if there's a month that goes by without the world almost ending, everybody starts to get really fucking paranoid.
The thing about the Ultimates is that it was finite anyway because they kill everyone. Every villain dies. Like, they don't send them to jail ever. They just murder them. Like,
Except for Norman Osborn.
except Osborn, who just keeps
who
making.
came back and killed Peter Parker. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert again.
Should say that before I spoil things.
No, fuck it. This whole we're gonna call this show Spoiler Alert. How's
We
that?
should. I like that.
Spoilers.
Or we should just begin the show with Spoiler Alert. That's what,
That's
I'm
probably
gonna
a good
start.
idea.
That's it. From here on out, we're starting with Spoiler Alert, so we
Okay.
don't have to do this anymore. I don't believe in spoiler alerts. I mean, there's lots of shit that I couldn't unsee and unhear.
Oh, I hate it when you're online and you'll see like the little collapsed spoiler alerts in like forums or like things like that, and it's like you always click them.
Totally.
Not me.
It's like terrible. I have an addiction.
Well, actually,
I do too. I ruin it for myself all the time.
I'm trying to swear off of trailers now for that very reason, because the trailers now even
always show the heaviest scenes in the
Yeah.
movie and the biggest.
yeah.
I cry at trailers. I don't know what it is. I think
I'm not gonna lie, a single tear rolled down my cheek when I watched the Into Darkness trailer.
me too. Sometimes
one
you gotta
tear.
be a hero. Jump into the darkness, Jim. Sometimes you gotta jump. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I love you. And then they're making out, and then there's an explosion, and then blah 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 blah
It's
blah
happening
blah.
again right now. No.
And Sherlock's all like,
Man of Steel
"Nah."
choked me up.
Well, the
trailer.
Hans Zimmer.
Oh yeah, same.
The first
People
one.
are criticizing his score, saying, "Oh, it's no John Williams." Fuck John Williams. No, well, okay, he has good shit, yes. But Hans Zimmer, like, man,
Yeah, it was good. I heard.
that
I
build-up?
listened to it. It wasn't. It was like, yeah, it was a nice long build up. The music failed to have that opening impact that John Williams is fantastic for. To a interesting length. So is Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman generally starts with that big.
Go
They
back,
attack you with the
go
horn
back and
section.
listen to. Don't listen to the soundtracks because they're horrible, but listen to the instrumentals, like the scores for Spider-Man and the Ang Lee Hulk movie, especially.
Beautiful.
Amazing, and that's all Danny Elfman, and he gets a lot of shit for being kind of out there, but that's what happens when you work.
That was his best time. Man.
Well, that's what happens when you work with Tim Burton for too long. But
you go weird.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of like I think what Tim Burton does is inject his DNA into the people he work with. Because if you look,
I'm thinking Pod People actually.
No, because I mean, look at Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
Johnny Depp gets to look more and more.
That poor man.
Like he looks more and more like Tim Burton.
Which
every
isn't
movie
something
that
anybody
he does.
should want. Like, I'm not an attractive man, but I don't want to look like
I
Tim
disagree.
Burton.
Crazy
Really?
Chic.
Tim
it's
Burton?
Wonderful. He
That
he
goes
always looks like
beyond
he
Crazy
hasn't
Chic.
slept in like 18
Or bathed.
years.
Or bathed.
And he's just been in
Or
the basement.
bathed.
Yeah, and bathed. Yeah, he's just been in a basement avoiding
watching
the sun.
watching
Stitching-
recuts of Ed Wood for 18 years.
stitching pants onto a dog with dental floss. Just like, yeah,
That sounds like
buttons for eyes.
I'm getting visual.
modern art.
Oh.
Just walking around his house wearing one of those little headbands.
But no,
with a little,
the
magnifying thing on one eye, just looking at
The
things.
Hans Zimmer score for Superman that's been released so far, it makes me want to like Superman again.
Yeah.
You know, like
If the score
The first
is your
movie
only
was so-
complaint
the newest
about a
movie was
trailer,
just-
then-
So
no, it's not. I'm not complaining.
No. I'm
No,
saying that like obviously it's gonna be good. If the only thing is
Yeah.
like, oh, the music isn't gonna be good, it's like, well, I mean, that's
if it gets any worse than Superman Returns, then they're just going to have to cancel Superman,
Superman
as a character.
3.
Like it was.
Yeah.
Superman
Returns was not
4.
the worst.
Superman 3
movie.
was really bad. Okay, I don't think.
Which one
that
was
you
Richard
should-
Pryor?
3.
Okay.
in a pink blanket and skis. Not a good movie. However,
I think Richard Pryor
I
wrote
would
all his
say
own
that
lines.
Superman 4, with solar-powered evil Superman, I think that was worse.
don't
It's
even
so
remember
hard
that
to
movie.
judge the levels of badness when it comes to the Superman series. Like,
Well, he's just a hard character.
really tough to
get
pull
behind.
off. Like,
Like,
and-
really, the only Superman that I even remotely enjoyed was All-Star Superman.
Lois
now
and
we're
Clark.
going to get
Lois and
calls
Clark.
because we're going to get calls.
Lois and Clark.
No, I just
Lois
like
and Clark?
Terry Hatcher.
Dean Cain.
No, just Terry Hatcher. That's why I watched Lois and Clark. Okay?
Go back, find the episodes on YouTube with Zod in them.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
oh my god, it's awesome.
Who saw it?
I don't even know, but
No, it was just a
that
random
series
character.
does not hold up. I don't think
Didn't
it held
hold up
then.
like the
Hold up
day
when it
after
was
the first.
made.
But I used to watch that show religiously. I was like, I don't know, it was 7 or 8.
Yeah, what
And
year?
I
That was a
loved
what,
that
mid
show.
Lois and
90s?
Clark. That was
92
early
to
90s.
96
96 or
maybe.
whatever. Yeah, so I would have been like just going into junior high.
Yeah, that'd be...
The informative
Really?
stages of my life.
Wow.
Yeah, like, well, I was probably in grade 5 when it started.
It doesn't seem like that though.
Either I'm immature or you're just more mature. I don't know.
I think we're both immature.
Pound it.
Heyo.
Bring it back to the Week in Geek. Kelsey Grammer was cast as a villain in Transformers 4, and yet nobody cares.
Kelsey Grammer as Kelsey Grammer. As Frasier. The whole
Oh, no,
time.
no. No, I like that. He plays Kelsey Grammer trying to put
play-
together like a Frasier reunion,
Yeah.
and the Autobots have to stop him. That I would watch that.
I would watch that.
Yeah,
I would watch.
he's like in the graveyard digging up the dog, like
Yeah.
because you know the dog's dead, right?
Totally.
Like
They should
I
just
made-
put Kelsey Grammer as the voice of Megatron in the 4th movie. He should just be Megatron. Instead of casting him as an all-new villain, just replace the voice and have it as
No.
There's only
Just
one-
have him.
just him.
Yeah, just like have him stand in front of green screen and just be like, like just have him try to change shapes into different.
He's wearing a cardboard box.
Oh my god, why?
I'd be behind that movie for
Why
sure.
is Transformers 4 going to be a
Is Megan
thing?
Fox in it?
No. Nobody's in it.
That was a resounding
Who's-
no from around the room.
Well, no, Mark Wahlberg's in it apparently.
What? Is he
Yeah.
playing Chia Beef Soup character or whatever?
Chia beef soup?
Yeah, I know. Chia Pet the Beef. You know.
No,
Oh,
but I
okay.
like it.
Chia the Beef.
That's
The anglicized version.
That's our sign off from now on. Chia the beef.
No, don't say his name too many times. He might show up.
Just look at the bathroom mirror.
Yeah, he'll get into it.
Indiana Jones wasn't that
You
horrible.
don't say his name 3 times because he'll show up and perform Indiana Jones Jr. for you. Junior.
Junior.
Yeah, so I still don't care about Kelsey Grammer being in Transformers 4. I don't care about Transformers 4. I do care about the first trailer out for Ender's Game.
I don't.
What is Ender's Game?
Did you play it? Game?
Oh, fuck, that's twice. Get the fuck out.
It's so
It's-
hard to explain.
It's such a, it's not a big book. It's
But
not...
It's like a
huge
sci-fi or
concept.
something like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's there's just so much that happens in it. I don't know. I suppose if they could do it to Lord of the Rings, they can do it to Ender's Game.
I have a really hard, and I don't mean to get political and blah blah blah.
What was
But-
the author's name again?
Orson Scott Card.
Orson Scott Card. He became
Douche!
Mormon. He became Mormon and then rewrote
He's a douchebag, is what he
the
is.
sequel. Did you know?
Yeah.
I find it really hard to separate the creator of something with their work, or an actor with their work. Like Tom Cruise, I have a really hard time watching anything with Tom Cruise in it.
Jack Reacher actually wasn't that bad.
I'm
Sorry.
never gonna
Except
see
that
it.
Jack Reacher's like 6'6".
Collateral was
and
awesome.
overweight and
Yeah.
See, that I would like to see. Like,
But I mean, you put Werner Herzog in anything, and I'm sold. Werner Herzog, like reading phone book.
It took me a long time to get over Beck being a Scientologist. Like,
Beck?
yeah, the musician.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I didn't realize
yeah,
it
he was born into it, I guess. But like,
It
I'm-
almost
I'm-
destroyed my world when I found out that Jason Lee was like a lifelong
Jason Lee,
Scientologist.
yeah.
Like,
Oh no!
I remember
yeah,
watching him
Hide
like
from
blind
that-
video
Hide from that
skateboarding
70s
things.
show.
I was like, this guy's the coolest skateboarder ever, and that's like he's a Scientologist.
Well, okay.
And
look,
that doesn't mean
that's
that they're a
not
bad
really
person.
fair.
No,
Yeah,
that
that's
doesn't
not
mean
really
that they're a
fair.
bad person.
I know lots of Christians who are shitheads, and I know lots of I don't know lots of Scientologists. I've known one Scientologist,
that's
and he
true.
wasn't a complete cock. You know,
let me just say,
All right.
like, I don't have problems with people because they're a Scientologist. I just have a hard time separating them from just my massive distaste for the organization.
Sure.
And that translates into me having a hard time really, like, letting go of that when I'm seeing their character. But what I really have a hard time with is Orson Scott Card and his massive amounts of homophobia and, like, extreme right-wing political beliefs. Like, hey, I have friends who label themselves as conservative, and, you know, we work past it. That's fine. Try not to let that stuff get into your daily life. That's great. But when you're, like, going out of your way to say, like, those damn gays, you know, like, seriously? Fuck off.
Why put the energy into
Yeah.
that?
Why hurt people with that
world
kind of
is
negative
changing.
Well, that's
bullshit?
not-
But the hate mongering.
It's a pretty heavy episode.
It's
hey?
trained. Hate mongering is trained.
But I mean, he's got these massive amounts of resources, and I feel that by supporting that individual and his works, he's using money from Ender's Game and stuff like that to, put money into
Spread hate.
hate groups.
Yeah, but
basically.
isn't that like it's you've got to admit that, I don't know, you've read Ender's Game, right?
Ages ago.
And you read it from beginning to end?
Yeah.
Did you grab it and not put it down, or did it take you, like,
I read it over a few weeks. It wasn't like every day I was reading it, but I read it, and it was good. I'll admit it was good, but...
I mean, the books that follow are not as good.
No.
But the first one...
beautiful world, though.
I wouldn't... Yeah, but I probably wouldn't go see a sequel to Ender's Game after it came out, because the books, what is Ender's Shadow? Is that the second one? I can't remember. But they were not good. Something, I don't know, have you seen the
trailer? Yeah.
It's a video game as well.
Is there a video game?
I saw a trailer for a video game. I've never actually played it, so can't really...
Harrison Ford's in it? I don't know. I'll probably go see it.
I probably won't.
And I won't hate myself for going to
No,
see
and
it.
I won't judge anybody for seeing it. And just like I won't judge anybody for liking the book. I mean, it's a good book. I just...
You just
me
don't
personally,
like the person.
Yeah, it's like... I liken it to... I have a massive distaste for Walmart. I don't shop there. But I don't judge anybody else for shopping there. I understand it's low prices. You know, great, good for you. I personally
don't need stuff made by Chinese.
Well,
peasants
I don't want to get into it,
for
but
2 cents an hour. But anyway,
It's a really, really heavy episode, guys.
yeah. Sorry, let's bring it
it
back.
happens sometimes.
Slavery and apocalypses and...
Last week we talked a little bit about movies, and I mean, I think.
Nothing. Go ahead.
I think I asked you. Did you end up watching X2 over the past week?
No, I didn't.
No, I'm a little disappointed because I rewatched X-Men and X2, and yeah, X2 is better. Is the superior film?
It's the better of the two,
Yes.
for sure.
I disagree, but that's okay.
I disrespectfly disagree with you.
The end. I don't
wrong
really.
with
I
the
don't
end?
want your respect.
Oh, okay. So long as we're clear, we've moved
You keep
past
your
that.
fucking respect.
Okay.
The very end invalidates it for me. The
Phoenix?
whole Phoenix thing really kind of...
Well, okay. Disregard movie 3. Okay? We didn't know movie 3 was going to be the way movie 3 was. Okay? We didn't know. But you didn't have that, like, excitement in the theater? Like, oh my god, it's the Phoenix.
I saw it coming.
Well, yeah, everybody saw it coming, but, like, to then show it, like, gliding under the water, that was amazing.
That was so intense. You're so
Yeah.
excited for X3.
You're like, oh my god, and then, yeah, we won't talk about X3.
Well, you didn't get, like... If you're going to do the Phoenix, you got to do that classic Phoenix burst. Flying in the sky... Boom! Giant bird made of fire, and then she kicks ass, right?
I loved the end of X2, how it was under the surface of the water, and you knew, again, disregard movie 3, but you knew that in the next movie, it was going to be like that boom, like not all this like...
Was that the only point of the movie that, like, because X2 was sort of terrible apart from that one point.
It wasn't?
Compared to X1? I thought Magneto alone, not having him in the movie was...
Okay, I will say that Magneto's escape in X2 was brilliant.
Yeah.
I really
The
did.
whole movie was amazing,
Yeah.
and
So
it focused on like Stryker.
Plastic face.
and-
I don't like
and-
Stryker.
See, I didn't like who they cast it for him or anything. Like, I don't like that guy in any movie. I don't even know who he is, but he was in the Bourne movies. And
But
So let's see the list.
okay, so in my hand I hold a list. I did this one day. I was curious as to what, like, because I don't have cable, I often miss like movie previews. So like I'm often surprised when a movie is out or has been out. So I made a list starting at the beginning of the year of every film that I want to see this year, either in theaters or
How
otherwise.
many are there?
Well, just up until the end of August, there's 39.
39. Okay, so mathematically, 39 times roughly $15 a show.
It's $585.
That's a lot of money to spend on movies in
Yeah,
one year.
that won't be happening. That won't be happening. But like some of these I've already seen.
Okay, well, just start at the beginning.
Well, the first one that I want to see from the beginning of the year is Gangster Squad.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you have a crush on Gosling?
who doesn't have a crush on Gosling?
I feel weird about him because of Breaker
No,
High.
there is that. Or the episode of Goosebumps he was on when he was a kid.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Can't fault people for Goosebumps episodes.
Well,
though.
no,
Come on.
I love it. I love going back and watching like Goosebumps or Are You
Afraid of the Dark? Yeah.
But
Still scared of Afraid of the Dark.
you know, Warm Bodies looked like kind of a neat zombie movie. I really want to see I saw Evil Dead, and that was really enjoyable.
I'm surprised. I don't know. I've seen the original Evil Dead, and
Anybody who
hilariously
it matters
awful.
has seen the original.
Yeah, it was hilariously awful. How could they possibly it? For me, that's not a movie that
Well, no, it's not.
it could be made again. It
The
was
movie,
made,
the
it
movie
was improv
itself,
mostly.
the movie itself is its own thing. Like this new Evil Dead, it's its own animal. It pays the right amount of homage to the original, and it does its nod to the horror roots.
Who did they cast as the sexually aggressive tree?
That was 2. That wasn't.
John
That
No,
was evil. The sexually aggressive tree.
There's tree rape.
Oh, good. Plant
Yeah.
rape.
Did you say "oh good" to tree?
Oh,
All right.
not to go down like the dark road again. I was just trying to.
No, yeah.
Drag it
Cat
back to
was-
something heavy.
Kelsey Grammer is the rape tree.
Is the transforming rape tree?
No, it's a really really good film.
the voice of the
and
transforming
as
rape.
always, stay till the end of fucking credits.
Oh, are they going
Okay.
to do Army of Darkness again?
Well, actually, they've already confirmed this is as its own animal is getting its own sequel, Evil Dead 2. But Sam Raimi has confirmed that he has begun writing Army of Darkness 2.
2?
Yeah.
Sam Raimi did such a great job.
So
as
they're
Spider-Man.
wait.
Can't wait to see what he
So
does.
is Army of
Okay.
Darkness 2 following Army of Darkness,
Yes.
or is it following?
No. Again. This Evil Dead is its own animal. It's
Okay.
getting its own sequel, Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
So that's apart and away from Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, except they will be producing it, probably.
Throwing money at it and
Yeah,
walking away.
of course. But Army of Darkness 2.
Originally Army of Darkness was supposed to end with him going to the future.
Well, that
Like
was
when
one of the
and they
endings.
they
was
ended
the
it.
international ending.
Yeah.
But Army of Darkness 2 is currently being written as a Bruce Campbell as Ash vehicle.
Really.
Wow.
That's what they're saying.
Hey man, I love the Chin. He's
Who doesn't?
He was
His
great on
Q&A
Burn Notice.
on the like when you go to the conventions and like he does his Q&A, it's an hour of him making fun of you as like a fan base. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I read his book.
Everybody.
I love
loves
his
him.
books.
Both of his books are
His
awesome.
book, I think his books are hilarious.
Yeah, they're very fun.
I think my favorite, the most recent Bruce Campbell movie, the one where he's taken as Bruce Campbell.
My Name is Bruce.
My name is Bruce. Oh,
That
man.
movie is awesome.
That killed me. That was so much fun.
It was.
I just saw Iron Man 3.
I haven't seen it
I haven't
yet.
seen it yet. I want to.
I liked it.
I'm hearing that it's better than the first two,
And
that's really
How's Ben Kingsley?
not hard for two.
I want to know how he is.
I liked two.
I
He's the
did.
Mandarin, right?
yeah, I can't talk about Ben Kingsley without giving anything away.
Oh, okay. Can you just say, is he good as the Mandarin?
Ben
No.
Kingsley is in the film. No.
Any
it's
pause,
definitely
any
good.
pause like that. If you have to think about how to word it, the answer is no.
No, it's a really good film. But like as far as things that are coming out, obviously Star Trek Into Darkness. I really want to see Joss Whedon's Much Ado About Nothing. That was like his little love project. Either right after, I think it was like he went away for 2 weeks right after filming ended on Avengers, and before they started like the main editing and stuff like that. I guess he like went off and just filmed this little film, and it has a bunch of the actors who have been in like the Buffyverse and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's Much Ado.
Much Ado
It's
About
not,
Nothing.
It's not like
it's in Shakespearean English, set in modern times, but in Shakespearean.
Oh, okay. I could dig that.
Yeah,
I love Shakespeare. I just don't understand it sometimes.
Romeo plus Juliet.
Superman.
Or the Julie Claymore Titus was actually really good.
Yeah, it was actually.
I liked...
This is the end. Looks hilarious.
What's this?
Yes.
Is the end?
Yes.
That's. I have really high hopes for it. I hope I'm not.
That's the Danny
disappointed.
McBride.
Danny McBride,
Seth
Rogen,
James Franco.
They play themselves. We talked about it, I think, a couple weeks ago, maybe.
It's like the end of the world, but they're all just themselves.
Yeah, they all play themselves. Jay Baruchel comes and visits, like James Franco, or Seth Rogen comes and visits James Franco, and like while they're having a house party, the end of the world happens.
Yeah.
But
James Franco, when he's on, is great.
Yeah.
When he
hosts the Academy Awards, he is not.
No. Or like...
Frankly, I'm just looking forward to
argue-
Danny McBride. Like, that guy is one of my...
fence about him still.
The first
Foot
two
This
seasons of Eastbound and Down, first two, were some of the best comedy I've ever seen. And then it sort of petered out, but...
Foot Fist Way is probably one of my favorite movies.
30 Minutes or Less. He did well in that, too, although it was a bad movie.
But he plays the same character and everything. It's like, yeah!
Well, he's Danny McBride. He's just another... He's
But
Danny
that's not
McBride.
how he really... I don't think that's how he really is.
But, I mean, it's the same with all those guys, that whole, like, rat pack of comedians now.
Yeah.
Like, the Seth Rogans, the Jonas... They don't actually ever play anyone but themselves.
I think they're
Yeah.
called the Frat Pack.
Yeah, I knew it was something to do with,
Yeah.
like,
Are they the
a
Frat
modern
Pack?
rat
They're the
pack.
Frat Pack.
The Brat Pack was the 80s.
Yes. No,
And
but
the
for
Rat
some
the
reason,
Pack
I
was the
thought-
Back in the
60s.
day.
For some reason, I thought that they were the generation after the Frat Pack. I thought the
Well,
Frat
I
Pack was
think
like
they've
Ben
been.
Stiller
I think they've been included
and Vince Vaughn. And all
into
that.
the Frat Pack at this
The
point.
Frat Pack really was established at Old School. I think the movie Old School
Like
was
Will
pretty
Ferrell and
much
all those
Will
boys.
Ferrell.
Yeah.
That was when they sort of became, because it was all about
the Frat.
the frat, and I think that's where the Frat Pack, that's where it came from. But and that was the jump off point for Vince Vaughn and Will Ferrell and
Vince Vaughn is one of my favorite comedians as well. That guy's... Like, he does no
Dodgeball?
wrong. Dodgeball, The Watch.
Great
I don't know
movie.
if you saw
However,
I haven't-
however,
Good.
Richard Ayoade's in that, actually.
Dodgeball is completely changed ever since Lance lost his medals. So that end.
He was only in it for
where-
like 3 seconds.
Yeah, but
though.
he comes in.
That makes the ending that much sweeter.
It does.
He
It does.
talks about, I could have given up. It's like, it's fucking cheating the whole time. I think
Which
that's great.
shows
They
you
should
that's
have-
how you get a.
they
that's how you
should
get
have
ahead in
cheated.
life. If you can't win by your own merits, cheat.
Yep.
That's, I think, the take-home message for the kids, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Feel good into the
There's
summer.
so yeah, World War Z. I'm gonna see it because
I'm gonna hate myself while I do.
yeah.
I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna hate being in a theater.
I'm gonna stand by my statement. It should have been a miniseries a la Band of Brothers.
What about Oblivion? See, it looks. I understand your overwhelming loathing.
I know.
Of him, but
I'll
it
get somebody
looks-
to pirate it for me.
He's also
Good.
countered. I mean, the Tom
I'm just
Cruise
joking.
hatred
I
is
don't watch
countered
pirated
by the
movies.
Morgan Freeman awesomeness. I mean, you gotta balance the two.
No, not even the voice of Morgan Freeman coming out of the face of.
Speaking of
Morgan
people whose
Freeman.
actions are gross. Speaking of people whose actions are gross and make you not respect them as much,
What?
he married his granddaughter. Step-granddaughter. But
I
yeah.
don't even know that.
What?
Morgan Freeman? Yeah.
Stop befouling.
I know.
our
What did
God.
you just do?
Wow.
Look at what you just did.
Wow.
You ruined it.
This is why we can't make things.
You were going to talk shit about Ender's Game, which is a book that I hold very dear to my heart and
I don't have
childhood.
anything. I
I'm
don't
just
have anything
laying
wrong
down
with
facts here,
I don't
sir.
have any problem with Ender's Game. I have a problem with Orson Scott Card.
I don't have
because
any
he's a
problem
fucking
with the
dick.
work of Morgan Freeman. I have the problem with him putting his fingers in his granddaughter. That's all I'm saying.
And on that note, I
Adopted
think we're going to end the show.
Also, I really
Step-granddaughter.
want to see
Step-granddaughter.
Elysium, Pacific Rim,
Pacific Rim looks
the
awesome.
Wolverine,
Giant
Kick-Ass
robots.
2, and World's
Kick-Ass
End.
2?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks great.
Oh,
I like
dude,
the first
balls
one.
to the wall, killing people, action, woo! And World's End, like it's the third in Simon Pegg and Nick Frost's and Edgar Wright's
Yeah.
Not dissimilar
Trilogy?
to the film you were describing really before, where like they're at a party and the world ends. They have like one day, it's the end of the world. And they have one day left.
The storyline is Simon Pegg gets his group of friends together to do this like legendary bar hop tour. They go back to this town to do it, and like the idea is they end at the bar called the World's End. They get to town, everything seems a little weird. Turns out it might be aliens. So they did a zombie film, they did a police action film, and now they're doing aliens.
They already did an alien film.
Paul.
Well, Paul is a separate film
E.T.
away from this loose trilogy. They've already said that it's like not part of the loose trilogy.
Okay.
I'm sure I've heard
the loose trilogy. I like it. I want to make a loose trilogy. It's not at all a trilogy. It just has the same people in it.
Well, it has the same people, but like similar theme. Average, everyday people dealing with extraordinary
situations.
Yeah.
They should do a superhero.
Isn't that like every movie?
No, I don't think that.
It
Avengers was an
Hot
average
Fuzz,
everyday people.
Hot Fuzz wasn't average every day. Simon Pegg was a super cop in that.
Well, he
anal.
was a super anal cop.
Yeah.
Incidentally, that could be part of your loose trilogy. No, nothing. Super anal cop.
Rough.
Super anal
Thank you,
cop
Derek.
loose trilogy?
Yikes.
Part 4.
The loosening.
You know what? It's probably already out there.
Derek.
Part 5. Anal nugget.
Derek, find me super anal cop.
Don't.
Doing this whole time.
Anyway, the point is, there's a lot of movies until August.
It's a good year.
It's
good
been
year
people
of movies.
like every year. I feel like we say it's a good year, and then I feel strangely empty because of the.
Because you have a short-term memory,
Yeah,
and
that's
it
true.
doesn't extend into your long-term memory, and you don't remember the movies. You don't remember how good or shitty they actually were.
I feel empty already.
Yeah, you should.
I just saw.
I just
Iron
can't
Man
bring
3
myself
on.
to go to theaters anymore.
Well, that's the other thing about it, eh? Like you get there, and then there's all those assholes
Yeah.
eating.
And you spend as
popcorn.
much to get into the movie as you do on like a bag of popcorn and a pop now. So you literally like doubled your amount that you've spent just to go see a movie in a theater with a bunch of assholes, like you just said. Especially if it's within the first week of an opening. It's always the dicks. Just all over the place.
Yeah, just all these
man.
little I can't.
Like
You've just put an image in my head of a theater full of giant penises.
just like
Just
semi-erect.
sitting back,
Semi-erect,
just
just
kind
like-
of like half wilted.
Yeah, just sort of pointing at the
their
screen,
cyclops
right? Like,
eye pointing
yeah.
at the screen and their little testicles holding them upright.
Can I?
Can we end the show, please?
Well, I just want to say, like the taking your phone out in the middle of a film and checking the time or checking to see if you got any text messages. I know there's no noise, but does nothing
That
like
light
that just
distraction.
rips me out like more than any amount of popcorn loudness or.
This has been a very dark episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. What did we say our sign-off was going to be?
Table of Geequals into darkness.
Into the heart of Table of Geequals. Anyway,
Chia the beef.
thank you.
I don't think we're ever gonna have these two back.
Sorry.
Not together. Thank you very much for joining us this week on Table of Geequals. Megan, Brian, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having
Thanks for
me.
the one and only time that we'll appear.
I'll never see you again.
I'm PigMonkey.
I'm Alex.
Enjoy your week.